Hey there, DJ Justin with Listen Up Entertainment and another in our video series. This one, I like to call it Fat Extras for the DJ. And this is actually going to be a two-part series. And in the first part, we're going to cover F and A, and the last part, we're going to cover T. I said Fat Extras for DJs: food, alcohol, and tipping. In the first part, we're going to cover food and alcohol. Tipping is going to be in part 2. You want to check that out if you're going to have any kind of an event where you might or might not want to tip your DJ, so check that out. This one we're just going to talk about food and alcohol. We'll talk about food first. Now, gearing this more towards private events, weddings, anniversaries, birthday parties, something where there might be food served, where there might be a meal served at your event. And the question comes up, do you feed your DJ? Now, there's a couple different ways that DJs can be fed at events. You can, if you're having a buffet style, or if you're having a plated meal, a sit-down meal, or there's something called a vendor meal. We'll get to that in a little bit. First, buffet style. If you are a client, there's really not a whole lot of work involved in making sure that your DJ does or doesn't get fed. The question comes up, do you feed them? Should you feed them? Well, ask your DJ. As far as I'm concerned with Listen Up Entertainment, I don't expect to be fed. It's nice when it happens, but I don't expect it. So if it's buffet style, I usually talk with the client beforehand. Obviously, we've gone through everything with the planners and things like that and gotten everything on board. And we know whether or not they're going to have a buffet style or a sit-down meal. And sometimes the question will come up. They'll say, do you want to be fed? I often say it's not necessary, but it's really nice. And with buffet style, there's not a lot you can do. But for DJs, there is something you can do. Do not get in front of guests in the buffet line. You should be, you and the rest of the vendors, and I see this happen, but you should be the last ones through the buffet line. You should not go before any guests. And I see vendors sometimes jump in line in front of guests, and to me, that's just rude and unprofessional. You shouldn't do it. You're there to work, and the fact that you're eating at all, okay, that's kind of a perk, but if you're eating before invited guests, that's just rude, so don't do that. If it's buffet style, and if you've cleared it with the client as far as whether or not you're going to be eating, do it after. Make sure all the guests have gone through first. If it's a sit-down meal, it's a little bit different. They usually have a place card or some kind of little sign that says who's sitting there and what their meal choice was. And if that's the case, then as DJs, you need to double check with the serving staff, with the catering staff of, hey, I'm the DJ, I've got a meal that's going to be coming to me, and I'm going to actually be at the DJ booth. Can I get my meal there? Don't sit out with the rest of the guests. You're not a guest. You're there to work. Take your food, make sure it's behind your booth, eat there. But do make sure that you get table service for a fork, a knife, a spoon, something to drink in or whatever, a napkin. That's always good. Sometimes DJs, I usually do carry plastic silverware in case somebody forgets or something like that. But make sure that you get those things taken care of. And if you're going to be eating, you do it that way. And the third way, as I said, to feed your DJ is something called a vendor meal. And speaking as a vendor, as a DJ, and speaking to clients, the one word that I will use in reference to a vendor meal, don't. And I'm probably going to get in some trouble with some catering staffs and stuff like that for this. Vendor meals are awful. They're usually some kind of cold sandwich and maybe a piece of fruit or something and a bottled water. And it's served in a sack lunch, and it's designed just to kind of be a secondary sort of throwaway kind of thing. They're not good. If you're going to feed your DJ, have the kindness to feed them what the rest of the people are eating, because vendor meals are terrible and just shouldn't happen. I personally, I would rather not be served any meal at all than be served a vendor meal, because the client is getting charged for that. There's a charge for a vendor meal. And sometimes that's why they go with that, because it's a little cheaper than the plated meal. But there's a reason why it's cheaper, and it's not good. It's like a school sack lunch. It's just never anything positive. So just avoid those. Don't go with a vendor meal. If you're going to feed your DJ, feed them the same thing that everybody else is. And if you're not going to feed your DJ, then don't feed them anything at all. But don't go the vendor meal route. Now, we've taken care of the food. We get to the drink. Alcohol. Don't. DJs, If you are at a private event, there is no reason on earth why you should ever be drinking alcohol at a private event. I'm not talking about going and checking out your DJ at the local club. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a private event, a wedding, an anniversary, a birthday party, some type of corporate event. Any of those kinds of private events, if you see a DJ drinking, do not hire them in the future. If you're going to have something coming up and you go to check out the DJ at so-and-so's wedding and the DJ starts drinking, that's a big red flag. Don't hire them. They're amateurs, they're unprofessional, and it should never happen. DJs, there is no reason why you should ever drink alcohol at a private event. There's no reason to be impaired in any way at an event. You need to be on your game, and you need to be in control. And you can't do that if you're impaired. If you have alcohol in your system, you're impaired. Don't do that. And for those of you who say, well, I need a drink to loosen up, or I need a shot or two to kind of get in the mood, then you suck at your job, and you shouldn't be doing it. And that's probably going to get me in some trouble too, and I don't really care. I'm going to say it because it's the truth. Amateurs use alcohol at private events. Professionals don't. So if you see a DJ using alcohol at a private event, pass. Just no good. And clients, don't give your DJ drink tickets. Don't come up and say, hey, can I get you a beer? Hey, the keg's free. No, just don't. There's no reason. We've got water, soda, coffee, tea, energy drink, fine. All that stuff, great. Alcohol, not involved. Plus, think about this. You got to tear down and you got to drive at the end of the night. So there's another reason not to do it. So, food, we covered. Alcohol, we covered. F.A.T, tipping your DJ. We'll get to that in the next video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the road.